Slow and Mr. Clinton, Conway, speaking and exposing corruption each and every day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Guyanese, turn on your TV and go to YouTube and listen to what Slow and Conway to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whole day we are calling for Slow and Clinton Conway. They teach and educating, exposing the things in the system. We need a better Guyana for the little boys and the children poor. Slow and Clinton Conway.
All the money they get, 2.2 billion.
Hear me when I sing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh.
And they would have gotten
Guyanese at home and abroad, please log into Conway as wide as it can reach. Slow, you always will preach. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like and share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so this message could reach as far, and every Guyanese will feel well. Oh yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Slow and Clinton Conway. Paul and Conway, every day.
all the money they get, 2.2 billion of our
Give me faith, oh Jah, I pray, oh Lord, to face another day. Oh, Lord, give me strength to face another day. Carry on life's road, carry on my load. Give me strength, oh Jah, to carry on. Oh, my Lord, oh, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Please tell me when I've been. Oh, help for ages past and oh, help for years to come, without whom I could not be. When you're trying to lead you out of your life, but I wouldn't be so unwise. And so I promise to serve thee, oh my Lord, and I beg thee some mercy. Lord, give me strength to face another day, journey along life's road, carry my heavy load. Give me strength, oh Jah, to carry on. Oh my Lord, life has become a burden, living in this evil system. Oh Jah, please strengthen me. I cannot make it alone, I need you as my own. Oh Jah, I call on thee. Some are trying to lead you out of your life, but I wouldn't be so unwise. And so I promise to serve thee with all my heart, and I beg thee some mercy. Lord, give me strength to face another day, to make it along life's road, to carry on my load. Give me strength, oh Jah, to carry on. Oh my Lord.
Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to the Friday afternoon's edition of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Welcome, one and all. Friday, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I hope, know that you'll be looking forward to a relaxing weekend. I wish you all the best in the weekend. Those of you who are privileged to have the weekend off, I wish you all the best. As I usually say, Friday afternoons in particular are fantastic days for those of us or those of you who will enjoy the weekend. Get to catch up on your rest, get to catch up on chores. So again, welcome Friday, the 17th of July in the year of our Lord 2026. Another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks to being in the land of the living. It's a privilege to be in the land of the living. You know, many persons would not have made it, including the great Sir Garfield Sobers, who passed away this morning in Barbados. So I'm going to talk about it in a little while. So, as a matter of fact, in a little while when we go down, I think we need to do the right thing and observe a minute of silence. But I'm going to wait until some more students are into the classroom, and then we are going to do that. So as I would normally encourage you to do, share. Let the others know that we are here. And this great Friday afternoon, beautiful Friday afternoon, the beginning of the weekend. Let's all sit back, relax, and enjoy the weekend, or as we prepare for the weekend. As I usually say, you have got to try and be extremely safe. Guyana is a dangerous place, all kind of things happening. And I have so much again to tell you this afternoon. I have to keep saying it. Sometimes people will say, well, you keep telling us all the time. Yeah, but I have to tell you because things happen all the time. And every time I sit, and I say, well, look, these are the things that I'm going to talk about on this particular day. I do my research and all of that, then things come up. For example, last night when I sat to prepare, I didn't know that the great Sir Garfield would have transitioned, so you could not have prepared for that. But as it happened, you have to make space to deal with that. And then a little while ago, I learned that in Britain, they have a new Labour leader. I want to talk about it a little. You know, we don't dwell too much in politics, but this is information that we need to bring to your attention. So welcome one and all. Like and share, hit the notification button, and I'm going to be with you. You know the usual thing. We're going to acknowledge those who came in early, and then I'm going to go into the announcement. You know, somebody said in the comment I saw a little while ago, one of the students said, every time he comes on, he still can't overcome the fact that CC is no longer with us. Well, what if you can't imagine me, you know? Because, as I said, I had to change up this whole thing. Because normally, CC and I would have had a chat the night before the program. Because we chat almost every day. Starting from Sunday, we will chat on Sunday night about what we'll discuss on Monday. Then, of course, we on the program on Monday. Even when the program is finished, we can review, we can chat. Then on Tuesday night, we'll chat again about what we're going to discuss on Wednesday. Then Wednesday program, before and after, we have a little chat. Thursday, same thing, Thursday night, chat. Friday program again. The only night we don't thing was Saturday night. And then what would happen when I schedule the program, I would then send the link to him. So all of those things, many times I actually attempted to send the link. Then I realized, oh Lord, my partner, my colleague, our co-host is no longer with us. So I could understand how you feel, student. I can understand how you feel. Now let me go acknowledge those who came in early. First man listed, Ambassador B. Ambassador B is here. Then Janella. We have Rawl 11752. Wayne from the UK. Wayne, commiserations. Argentina give you a little take. We're going to talk a little about that a little later too. Then we have Joan from New Amsterdam. Then it is Adele, Brian, Hazel, Felicia, Shavani, then Siobhan, McDonald, Peter, Nicola, Clifton. Clifton is all the way from Paris. Then we have, Clifton, I know tomorrow your guys are going to try to excel. You know, people will tell you, the football fans will tell you that the third place playoff in a FIFA World Cup is the worst game there is. The worst game there is. the enthusiasm is not there. Then we have Richard, Vashti, then Moses, Puran from the Essequibo Coast, Courtney, Tamo, Brandon is here with us, Compton, Sean, Umi, Pinky, Ivor, and this is the Ivor from Georgia, Aubrey, Patrick from the UK is here with us too, or then we have Rennie, Tessa from Florida is here, Abigail, then after Abigail, we have Trotty, Derek is here, Ulrich, we're getting early this afternoon, Norville, Halbert is with us, the Laverne, Princess Earl, Paulette, Sandra, the prefect, they have prefect, Bonita, then we have, who is it, Evelyn, and Clifton Smith, Pastor Smith. Also, let me recognize Maxwell Beaton is here with us, 11704 Beaton is here, Oren from the UK is here, Emerson as well. And let me see when the doors were open, how the students are recorded coming into the classroom. Let me scroll down, again. I'm always impressed by the numbers, you know. Friday afternoon, you just somewhere taking little tips, you still find some time to listen to me. Rosie Rose is listed here as the first persons. Then Claire, Rhonda, then I'm still in the house, Junior, Lennox, Claudette, Tony, Abu, Essequibo Coast, Charlene, Marina, then it is, who's Thomasine, Jean, Sion, Carlton Popo is with us too, always here very early. Rhonda, this is another Rhonda. Rhonda Ann is here. Jagdish is here with us. And the list goes on and on and on. So congrats to those persons who came in early and were recognized. Let me make my announcements. I have a lot to talk about today, you know. Lot. So let me make the announcements. The days, let me tell you the days. 859 days since Sergeant Vaughn, Alex Vaughn was shot and killed. 859 days, right? And it is 97 days since the Minister of Home Affairs' son drove that government vehicle into the trench and we ain't nothing. And it is 663 days since Marshal Ali Kak, or another son of the minister, struck and killed, got involved in a fatal accident at the embankment and LBI Access Road, which killed Salima Irlal, right? And investigation done, file sent for legal advice. The DPP advised that Marshal Ali Kak should be charged with causing death by dangerous driving. The file then went to the division for the prosecution to commence. The Commissioner of Police, it is said, it is alleged he sent for the file, and that is the end of the file. That is the end. That is since, the accident occurred on the 29th of September 2024. You know, they must come and say that this information is incorrect, that the file is in the matter is being pursued. They should come and tell us that. But the fact that they have remained silent all this time means that there's some truth to it. There's some truth. And as I've said over and over and over, I ain't gonna talk about it. It is unjust, it is unfair. Can't talk about the rule of law and all those things when you live in an animal farm where all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Right? Let me move on to tell you, we got a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna jump over some of them for now. Yesterday I learned of the death of retired warrant officer, Class 2, Lloyd George. He was known to us as Bartica George. Lloyd George, his regulation number in the GDF was 3272, right? He passed away recently, and he was the brother of we have the little Bartica George, Stanley George from TSU, 1942 Stanley George, and he had also another brother, Winston George, who used to be at the special branch. I think he was part of the presidential security at some stage, Winston. And let me say this about Winston. Winston was a special branch man, and he was one who we knew. He was one because of his brother at the TSU. He used to interact and mix with us. Back in them days, you don't know who the special branch men and so on. Now they're running around the place shooting and doing that. Everybody knew them special branch. But Winston, we knew Winston was a special branch man. And coming back to Lloyd Bartica George, who passed away, retired warrant officer too. I remember as a young corporal, I got promoted corporal in 1976. And early in 1977, I was identified, among others, to go on a what they call a course, instructor's course, drill course at the GDF. I was a corporal authorized to wear 3 stripes to go there. And it is Bartica George, because I know you're the police, you know his drill course, you know what this course is about. So Bartica, who used to mix with us through his brothers from time to time, I said, what is this drill course thing about, man? He said, bye, that is a tough course. I said, well, I'm selected. I'm told I'm selected to go on the course. He said, well, you better make sure you're fit. Because to go through a drill course, he said that is one of the toughest courses in the GDF. And I took his advice. Well, I was always fit at them age, you know. Fit as a fiddle, young 20-year-old and thing, fit. So I made sure I remained fit. And I went on the course and I excelled. Yeah, so I remember Lloyd George, Bartica George, because of that. And as I alluded to earlier, let me say we learned this around this midday, the death of Barbados national hero, the Right Excellency Sir Garfield St. Urban Sobers. And born, I remember we are the same month. He died what? He died at 89, just 11 days shy of his 90th birthday, right? Because he was born on the 28th of July, 1936, right? So it's 89 years, 354 days. He played in 93 test matches between 1953 and 1974. Ended up at test aggregate runs 8,032 runs. At an average, this cricket fans, at an average of 57.8, fantastic average, right? And when I did the research, they said he played 1 ODI in 1973. They said 1 ODI in 1973, but there's no, I don't know if it washed out or what, because there's no score, there's nothing at all, just that he did play. That is what it is listed as, right? I can't remember that. He took 235 test wickets, and listen to the economy rate, 2.22. 2.22 is the economy rate, and he took 109 catches. And then we will remember that he was once the holder of the highest individual test score, 365, until Brian Lara came and overcame that at the ARG, Antigua Recreation Ground. And Sir Garfield was the first person to hit 6 sixes in an over. And I'm talking about a 6-ball over. Because back in the day, in Australia, the overs were 8 balls. So when Garfield Sobers did that, it was 6 balls in England. And the unfortunate bowler was a man named Malcolm Nash. I remember that very, very well. So when I did the research to confirm Malcolm Nash, he struck him for 6 sixes. And there are videos circulating with that. But having said that now, before we go any further, I will ask you for just let us pause and observe a minute's silence for the passing, in honor of the passing of that the greatest all-rounder cricket has ever known. And we start now. Thank you very much. May he rest in peace. May he rest in eternal peace. Condolences to the relatives of Lloyd George and the relatives of Sir Garfield, the entire cricketing community, the entire Barbados community. I'll come back and I'll speak a little bit more on Sir Garfield once I do the other announcements. Because, let me say now, that I had the privilege of seeing Sir Garfield play. The first test match I looked at in 1968 at Bourda, England versus the West Indies. I'm going to talk something more about it. But I had the privilege of seeing him play. I also had the privilege of meeting with him while I worked with Cricket West Indies. So the great man has gone. As we usually say, all of us have to go one day. We all have to go one day. But let me give you some of the more pleasant. Well, before I go to that, let me say there was a devastating fire, I understand, today at the Elmore Children's Home. Big fire. See the photograph there, big fire. And I want to compliment the acting chief fire officer. I think his name is Wickham, Mr. Wickham. And what I'm complimenting him for is the fact that he faced the media. He faced the media and made a statement. Congratulations to you, Mr. Fire Officer, Fire Chief. And basic thing, he said they got the call, the time they got the call, the units that responded, and basically that. And the fact that apparently 3 persons, minor injuries, no one was no loss of life. He gave the basic details. That is what you expect from the leader. You have a commissioner of police who can't go with the tongue. And that is why I've been saying all along. You have these incidents, somebody senior must come out, not necessarily commissioner, but somebody must come, face the media, say this is what was reported, and this is what has happened. Basic stuff. Basic, the media people are going to ask you all sort of thing. But if you're trained, you know how to respond. You know how to respond. Just stick to the facts as known. You ain't going into no speculation and all them type of thing. But they don't do that. And because they don't do that, people don't have much faith and trust in the Guyana police force. So when I saw the fire chief doing that, I said I got to come and congratulate him. Congratulate him to face it. I was very brief. Very, very brief. No long drawn out. Nothing. He just come and say basically that they got a call at such a time. And I think he said 3 things responded. I see people claiming that they ran out of water and all. I'm not going to go into that. But the fact that they responded and the fact that the chief fire officer was able to face the media and tell people what went on, that got to be a step in the right direction. That is the way it ought to be. And I hope the others learn from that. Ikin in particular, I hope he learns from that, right? But he looked like he had a little brick inside, right? Now let me say this. Let me say this as I move on to birthday greetings. Today is the 75th birth anniversary of former detective. I think he retired as an assistant superintendent, Charles Alleyne. Charles Alleyne. You know, sometimes we say Alleyne, but I remember too cute, A-L-L-E-Y, and he says Alleyne, right? You got to call it right. So, the Charles is observing his 75th birth anniversary today. Congratulations to you, Charles. When we meet at some time hopefully in the near future, we get something to talk about, man. And Charles used to work, when he retired, he used to work with CC. I last saw Charles at CC's funeral, right? I saw him at CC funeral. And also observing a birth anniversary today is retired officer, I think he was ASP2, Morris Fraser. Morris is observing a birth anniversary today. And TSU man, old TSU old police. Today is the birth anniversary of our good cook, Colin Harper, 11747 Harper. Today, Colin is observing a birth anniversary as well. He was there, he and Bora, and them men used to cook and save a lot of people. Let me say this, because although they cooked for the ranks of the TSU, they save a lot of people at police headquarters. They will come even though they weren't stationed at the TSU. They will come. But, you know, you said people come once to get the food, give them, man. Give them. Daco Cummins, you say, what is food? Daco Cummins, you say, food is clean shit. You eat it, it clean, and then it pass out into waste, feces. So you don't deny persons a little food, right? So, yeah, Performance Linton, yeah, today he's observing his birth anniversary, Colin. And then we get some future advanced birthday greetings. And advanced birthday greetings are going out for us to a loyal student, Cheryl Pancham. Cheryl is observing a birth anniversary shortly. Also observing a birth anniversary shortly is a family of mine, Kevin, Aline, another Aline, Kevin is observing. Then we have when I was a traffic officer, one of my traffic education officer, one of the traffic education officers, Dennis Oresho. I think Dennis' number was 8318, I think it was. Dennis is going to be observing a birth anniversary shortly. Also observing a birth anniversary will be Ayaskali, Akali, Roberta Flack, Keith McDonald, 9072. Mark used to be at the TSU there in the arms store, and then he went to CID. Then he left, and he lives now in Antigua. He was with the prison service in Antigua there. I met him a few times when I went to Antigua. And also today, Neville Smith, another loyal student, ex-member, Neville Smith, is going to be observing a birth anniversary shortly. So too would Trevor Bowen. Many of you would not know Trevor. Trevor, retired senior custom person there. I can't remember his exact rank. I don't know the custom ranks, but Trevor is going to be observing a birth anniversary shortly. Also retired or former director of prison, Byron Henry. So Byron is going to be observing one shortly as well. And then last by no least, Mr. Kingsland Felix, used to be there with Larry Lewis. I think Kingsland going to be observing. I think he's going to be observing on Sunday. He's going to be observing a birth anniversary on Sunday. So I want to take this opportunity to wish all those who are observing today. We're going to be, now who can this be? Hold a while, somebody take, they cut off. I think the person should send a message, man. Send a message. You can't call me when I'm on the live. Right, so happy birth anniversary to those who are celebrating today, who celebrated recently, and who are going to be celebrating in the near future. Now, a few BV people, tomorrow, Saturday the 18th, they are scheduled to have the 10th annual BV Triumph Fun Day at Seaview Park. I was making some inquiries this morning, and I'm advised that it is in limbo at this stage because of the weather forecast for tomorrow. So I will encourage you to make contact with the organizers, Pedro, Michael Janssen, and those Martin Emmanuel, and then contact them to confirm whether it's on or not, right? Because it should have been held tomorrow, scheduled to be tomorrow from 11 o'clock until. So please, I know many people have been planning to go there, people in the New York area and New York and surrounding areas, BV, the annual Fun Day get together. You get together and you talk, see your old school friends and so on. Somebody confirming that Dennis number is 8318. Thank you very much. My memory and all about. I'm still remembering these things, yeah? Right? So so we have that. BV people, please note. And then for the people who are interested in rifle shooting, not a spectator sport, but I know a lot of people follow the sport. I used to be very active some years ago. Today, the 157th Imperial meeting starts at Bisley in the UK, right? And we have some people from Guyana who are there, other members from the Caribbean, West Indies. They are there to participate in that most prestigious of shooting event. Bisley, if you're a rifle shooter and you have never been to Bisley, then you're not a real rifle shooter. I had the privilege of traveling to England to shoot in 1985, my first trip to the UK, and that was with the West Indies team. I was selected on the West Indies team. I went there and I went back to shoot at Bisley several other times, right? So today that commences. And then, as I indicated earlier, today, Andy Burnham was declared the leader of the Labour Party, replacing Keir Starmer, right? And he will be sworn in on Monday as Britain's new Prime Minister, right? So he will be sworn in. Somebody say, oh, Clarence, okay. Advance birthday greetings then let me go back to that, to Clarence Hudson. He too is a loyal student, always on. He is going to be observing a birth anniversary on the 19th. So Clarence is going to be observing a birth anniversary on the 19th. So, Clarence, all the best to you. And you know, mine is around the corner, you know. Mine is around the corner too, right? The only thing you all on a different planet. I gone over to Leo. You there with the planet with Ikin and them. I gone over to Leo, right? So, let me move on quickly. Cricket, not surprising. At least I am not surprised. West Indies have been flattered to deceive by winning the first ODI at Providence. Then they lost the other two. Always disappointed, not necessarily cricket. The game yesterday, they batted first and were all out for 140. And of course, New Zealand overall that score. But let me tell you all this because somebody made a comment. Somebody made a comment about it. The wicket at Providence is poor, piss poor. It's one of the worst wickets, definitely worse in the Caribbean. Wicket, even the facilities, you see the jump around and talk, they don't really like it true. Even the facilities at Providence now have deteriorated rapidly. All this morning they talk about things that are not properly maintained. So you have a wicket that the people will tell you, nobody likes to play at Providence. Nobody wants to play at Providence because the wicket is poor. And look what's going to happen. You see they're coming up, they talk about some global super league and the CPL. You're going to see, well, they better put the act together because the person who commented made the point that when you have something like that, match, couple overs, 140 people make, and no interest. A lot of small vendors, where people will buy, pay money to get the rights to sell the little plantain chip and to sell the little sugar cake and all this type of thing. They're the ones that lose big time because they don't get no refund. You invest to go and set up a little stall to sell because you then expect that people are going to turn out for the game. But when you have almost empty stands, your money gone down the drain. Your money gone down the drain, right? So they just jump up with the stock, a lot of things here. But I say again, the Providence wicket is a piss poor wicket when it comes to cricket, any form of cricket. If you want to play a test match there, it can't last 4 days. Can't last. Wicket is piss poor. Anybody who know about cricket will tell you. And don't talk about the facilities, the bathroom and all them type of thing. Bathroom and all them thing. Piss poor, man. So I can actually sympathize with the vendors who would have invested, hoping to get a little money. You sell your little icicle and them type of thing, but you don't get people in the stand, you don't get nothing. Nothing at all. So we have that. And of course, the last thing about sports, we have FIFA. FIFA World Cup is still on. Yesterday, we had the semi-final. It was yesterday? Oh, Lord. Not yesterday. When was it? When was it? Wednesday, no? Yeah. We had the semi-final with England and I gotta laugh, you know. I gotta laugh, right? Messi in the skin, man. Messi in the England and Argentina. Let me say this. As I have said, I like to start by saying I am no big football fan, but I know games and so on. And you know, when going into the game, I was favoring Messi, Argentina, and for reasons I ain't gonna tell you all it is now, right? And when the game started, England was very impressive, and I said, well, yeah, England, because I didn't mind if Argentina lose, right? Argentina get a bad reputation when it comes to racism and all that. So I didn't mind if they lose, right? But then, to my pleasure, England scored. England went ahead. I felt so nice. But then I saw what I saw there coming down to the end. I keep telling me watching thing them Argentina can win this game. Argentina, they said, well, why? I said, but look what England doing. England decide from very early o'clock they can try to defend this one goal. Nothing wrong with trying to defend, but you can just sit back and defend against a team like Argentina with Messi and all them attacking players. I say it's just a matter of time, And they were lucky because England, that is, many shots hit the net upright and would work, as they would say, right? They very early they got into defense. You can defend for 60 minutes against Messi and them. 60 minutes. You just decide, the coach decide that he's gonna put on defenders to lock down that team. Look, and even though they had all the defenders, both goals that were scored. Look, the first goal that was scored. The man had world ton of space when Messi crossed the ball to him. He had all the space in the world to fire the shot. And then when Messi crossed again, that precise, straight on the man head, straight into the goal. And they run and make it nice. But bad tactics, bad tactics, right? On the part of the coach or the manager in the Scotland, right? I can't imagine that you decide with a team like Argentina, you got one up. I thought you would have tried to at least get the next one. But then when you take off all your attacking players, left one attacking player on, gone into defensive players and so on, what do you expect? Get them in the run you through all the time. You get the likes of Messi, they say the best footballer the world has ever seen, coming at you, dribbling and coming. It's not a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, and that's exactly what happened. That is exactly. So let's look forward tomorrow. That'll be the third place playoff, France and England. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the final, Spain and Argentina. But let me tell you this. This thing is all about money, you know. This thing is all about money. From the inception, people were saying this thing is set for Argentina to win and to go to at least to get to the final to win, right? Just money. You know what they have done now? They have changed, FIFA changed their own rule. So whereas half-time is 15 minutes, FIFA decide now half-time going to be 30 minutes so they can get a big half-time show. And when you talk about half-time show, what do you think they're talking about? It? Money, commercials, and so on. Commercials, they change the whole game. For this FIFA, basically it's 4 quarters, 2 halves or 45 minutes. Because they get what they bring in, hydration break. And during the hydration break, commercial is money. Money, that's all they're looking at, money. Money, sad, because it's not about the game any longer, right? He had a goal, Commissioner called a goal by Alvarez. Alvarez had all the space in the world. So that when Messi crossed to Alvarez just outside the box, right? Just outside the box, the man had enough space. Nobody was marking him. Now, how can you do that to those players? There's world-class players. You left Alvarez there, nobody marking him. You get the ball and just fire it in there and beat the goalie to right. Yeah, so let me move on. I'm gonna come back now to Sir Garfield Sobers. So Garfield Sobers. Let me before I say anything further about Sir Garfield, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor Motley, she came out and she made an announcement. She paid a tribute, I think. Did I not upload this thing? Oh yes, I did. Now listen, I want the people in Guyana, the president and their ministers and all, they must listen to how things are done. Listen to what the Barbados Prime Minister had to say about the death of Sir Garfield Sobers. Listen.
My fellow Barbadians, friends of Barbados and lovers of cricket in every corner of the world, this is a solemn hour for our nation. It is with profound sadness that I now advise the people of Barbados, the region and the wider cricketing world of the passing of the right excellent Sir Garfield St. Alban Sobers, our beloved Sir Gary. Across Barbados and across the world, we hold him with gratitude, with reverence, and with the tender sorrow that comes when a people have to say farewell to one of their greatest sons. Sir Garfield St. Alban Sobers, our Sir Gary, did not begin life among privilege or parade. He began in Walcott Avenue, Baylan, a boy of Barbados, shaped by family, community, loss, discipline, and faith. He traveled from Baylan to Kensington, from Kensington to Sabina Park, and onto the world stage, carrying his country, Barbados, carrying the West Indies, and carrying the Caribbean as a whole with distinction. Long before people spoke about the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the mighty sparrow settled the debate in song. He asked, Who is the greatest cricketer on earth or Mars? Anyone can tell you it is the great Sir Garfield Sobers. Sir Gary is remembered as the greatest cricketer, the greatest all-rounder the world has ever seen. Not simply because of his records, but because he became the standard by which greatness would forever be measured. We remember the image of Sir Gary kneeling less than a mile from where he was born to receive his knighthood from Queen Elizabeth, knowing full well that his people had already crowned him in their hearts. For many years, Sir Gary was our only living national hero, though the world had already recognized him long before we in Barbados made it official. There is a story from Swansea in 1968 that still feels larger than sport. On the fifth ball of that immortal over, Roger Davis held the catch. Then the momentum carried him beyond the rope. The boundary itself could not contain Sir Gary. That was his life. Every innings, however great, must at some point come to a close. The finest innings do not end in silence. They end with the whole ground rising and with a grateful people saying, thank you, and yes, we love you. I had the opportunity to speak to his children, and I therefore publicly now say that on behalf of the government and people of Barbados, I extend my deepest condolences to them, to Matthew, to Daniel, to Genevieve, and to his stepchildren Stuart and Tricia, children of Sir Gary's long-standing partner Jackie White, who predeceased him. To his grandchildren, we say we are so sorry, especially Gabriel, who lived with him. I also extend our condolences to his former wife, the mother of his children, Prue, and to his younger brother, Cecil, who we all know as Saul, and to his wider family and loved ones, friends, cricket lovers, cricketers, admirers across Barbados, the Caribbean, and the world. The government of Barbados has declared today, July 17th, a day of national mourning. There will also be a day of national mourning on the day of the internment of Sir Garfield Sobers. On these 2 days, there will be no official functions. The flag will be immediately flown at half-staff and will remain so until the interment of Sir Gary. Further information regarding the place and date of the state funeral and all other arrangements will be provided by Senator Lisa Cummins, who has been given the responsibility of coordinating the funeral with Cabinet Office and the Barbados Defence Force. Sir Gary, Barbados stands for you. The West Indies stands for you. The world stands for you. For an innings that was so well played, Sir Gary. So well played. We will always love you.
I love to hear the Prime Minister of Barbados speak. Not them people we get just come and tell you that's the other thing. Cultured people speak. And you know, for the police and soldiers, I remember this discussion about flags being flown at half staff or half mast when you had the soldiers who died in that helicopter. And as I was telling y'all, I said, flags on land are flown at half staff. And there's a difference between half staff and half mast. Flags on ships are flown at half mast because ships have masts, right? But you hear what the Prime Minister said? The flags will be flown at half staff, which is the correct thing. And somebody had pointed me to some English thing and I'm telling you, I train in this. I have the manual, half staff, right? And the protocol, we're not going to go into it, because I'm sure that the people in Barbados know the protocol to hoist and lower a flag to half staff. They might have half mast if it's been flown on ships or vessels, they will have that. But once it is flown on land and on buildings, it is flown at half staff, right? So you are the Barbados Prime Minister there. And she referenced a song by Mighty Sparrow, talking about Garfield Sobers. Let me pray it for y'all, man. I gotta give some credit to some that we gotta pay respect to the great man. And this is a song that she referenced.
Who's the greatest cricketer on earth or Mars? Anyone can tell you it's the great Sir Garfield Sobers. This handsome Barbadian lad really knows his work. Batting or bowling, he's the cricket king, no joke. 3 cheers for Captain Sobers. Win or lose, the spectators are always pleased with the greatest team on earth. Who else but the West Indies? Men like Butcher, Joe Solomon, Kanaya Davis, and Nelson Rodriguez, Conrad Hunt and White Gibbs, and the wicket keeper Hendricks. Australia, you lost. The West Indies is past the trophy belong to us. I say you lost, and you know you lost. Yeah. Australia, stick your grind. Australia, don't mind you lost. Better luck next time. Them Australian jokers sent on crash helmet to protect the batsmen from Hall and Charlie Griffith. I felt so sorry for Simpson, he tried but in vain. When Griffith and Hall wickets start to fall like rain, 3 cheers for Hall and Griffith. O'Neill went Australia making big riot. When he was facing Griffith and Hall, he's so blooming quiet. When O'Neill made real fast bowling, is to see him ducking. And then the very guy telling so much lie, telling the world how Griffith chucking. Australia, you lost. The West Indies is past. The trophy belong to us. I say you lost, and you know you lost. Australia, stick your grind. Australia, don't mind you lost. Better luck next time. From the time the series started in Jamaica, we proved that Australia was strong, but only on paper. The 4 tests in Barbados, they full the scoreboard. But Rohan and Seymour carry up we score. Oh Lord, 3 cheers for Nelson Kanai. Special praise to Conrad Hunter, Okuna, Brian Davis, Solomon, Lance Gibbs, Hendricks and Basil Butcher. All the boys fought gallantly under Sobers' captaincy. So hip hip hooray for a glorious victory. Australia, you lost. The West Indies, his boss Warren Trophy belong to us. I say you lost, you know you lost, come on. Australia, speak your mind. Australia, don't mind you lost. Better luck next time.
Someone remarked there, someone commented from one goat to a next. I want to talk about goat in this sense, it's our greatest of all times. Sparrow and Sir Garfield Sobers. Toro, they got a lot of goat too, you know. On the Linden Highway at that mega farm, they got a lot of goats, you know. And they got a lot of goats looking after the goats. So yeah, you have a lot of goats there too. But that was tribute from the greatest Calypsonian ever lived, Slinger Francisco, better known as Mighty Sparrow. That is way back when he was singing there when West Indies defeated Australia. That is, I think, in the early 70s. I can't remember. No, that wasn't the 70s. I think that was 1965. That was 1965. Because the first time I saw Sobers, I had the privilege of seeing Sobers. But let me show you all this picture. This is in 1968. Sobers and Kanai at Border. I was a little 13-year-old, 12 plus 13-year-old. Got the chance to see the very first test match. Very first test match at Border in them days. You got to leave home 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to go and line up to get into rails. If you come down too late, you can't make it. Then you had the boardmen around Border in the trees. Right? I came down to see that game. First cricket match, first test match I saw. 1968. And in doing the research, the match was played from March 28th to April the 3rd, 1968. West Indies batted first. 414 they made. Kanai, 150. Garfield Sobers, 152 in that match. And then England replied with 264. Boycott 100, right? I think Boycott made 100 in that game. Then West Indies in the second innings. No, sorry, England replied with 371. 371 with Boycott making 100, Colin Crowley 59. And Tony Luck down at the bottom there. Tony Luck made an 89. That was a very frustrating game. Then West Indies batted a second time, and West Indies 264. Right? Sobers, 95 not out. Sobers, 95 not out. But here, let me tell you something. I will never forget that match for several reasons. Because when England batted a second time, they were 206 to 9. Holding on. Yeah, all of you remember Alan Nutt. Alan Nutt is the man who held on there kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking, and the end umpire, Cecil Kippin, the man who used to umpire with the bughouse, and putting this man out. Lance Gibbs bowling, knocking this man in front. Kippin shaking his head, not out. The people nearly go crazy at Boda. Nearly go mad at Boda. Kippins lives somewhere in Queenstown area. When the game ended in a draw, because of that draw, I think England won the series. When the game finished, police had to go and guard Kippin's house. I remember that as a little boy. Police had to go and guard Kippin's house because the old people were so incensed that they felt that he robbed Gibbs and the spinners, because the men there in them spin that test match. I remember that test match too for another reason. As I was a little boy in the crew, trustworthy little boy. So them boys give me the passage money. We go in rails. They give me the passage money to keep, because you got to take care for go back to BV. I stood under a tree where some men were playing 3 cards. And I watching, glancing, and I guessing in my mind. And I guessing right all the time. I guessing right all the time. Aaron never set me up, you know. I guessing right all the time. So I decide I can get brave. I take out that little bit money, maybe 10 cents or 25 cents, I can't remember more. Put it on a card, I win. You're feeling good. I win. I put a second time again, I win. Then the card man do his thing, and turn it back momentarily. And a man on the other side pick up a card and peep. The man pick up the card and peep. And then once he pick up the card and peep, the man put a whole set of money on this card. So I said, well, yeah, I go in there. Because if this man peep and put any money, it means that he saw, them days is not, they used to play whitey shitey. Whitey shitey. I said, this man, get this thing black. I take out all the money, including the money that them boys give me to keep. And I put the money on this card. You see, when this man raised up this card and it wasn't the right card, I nearly dropped down there dead. I nearly fall down and dead. I studied now what I tell them boys. So you know what I do? Before the day's play was finished, I beat out. I beat out, and then I got to the East Coast car park in Langdon Street there. And I stood up, I see a car man who my father used to use, because my father was a prominent man in the village, right? I never gamble again. I play my little bingo and my little lotto thing, never. So when I went down there, I saw, I didn't walk home. The other car man named, they used to call him Nali, lived on Republic Drive there, localish man, more Indian than anything in there. I see Nali, I said, Nali, my father sent me to see cricket, and he said, when you done, you must drop me home, and you can pay. So I be at a little shop. So is Nali car, I jump in, Nali drop me home, and then I go and I ask me, old man, get money and go and pay Nali. Well, next day I can't go to school. I got into hiding. I got to know also for trying to get money. I remember Clement Solomon, Pussy, was one of the men. Right? Pussy walking through the street there, I see Pussy, I didn't look for thing, man. So eventually me get money, get Pussy. Then Pussy, I give him some conks for me head. I never gamble a thing again. Never gamble again. Never. As a, 3 card and them thing. And you know, let me tell you all this, I must admit it. I remember as Commander Borbies, and even in Georgetown, Borbies in particular, at Albion Sports Complex, they had school sports and so on. I went there and I saw this same trick yard, and they meant encouraging school children to get. I stopped the thing, and I used to stop school children, them trick yard men around the place. I stopped it. I learned me lesson the hard way. Conks them by more than with conks there. Thing. That was the game, 1968. The first time I going to see cricket, first time. So I had the privilege, as I said, of seeing Sobers bat, Kanai, and all those stalwarts of the day. And then when I was employed with Cricket West Indies, I had the privilege of meeting Garfield Sobers. So Gary would turn up at the ground. You know, you get with ICC rules about match fixing and anti-corruption and so on. The players area is a highly restricted area. You gotta get special pass and so on to go in there. Well, I know Sobers. So I got to get no pass to go there. So at one stage, one of the ICC men who did not know who Sobers was and so on, so Garfield came and they were trying to prevent him from going into the players area to see the player. So to see the player, so I had to talk to him. I said, "This is Sir Garfield Sobers. Do you believe that Sir Garfield Sobers is going into the dressing room to do match fixing?" I said, no, this is Garfield. I said, the pavilion is named after this man, right? And this man is a man of honor. We can't think. And thereafter, we used to tell him, I said, look, if Sir Gary wants to go any place, in any one of the restricted areas, let me know and I will escort him. So if he wants to go and meet a player after the game or whenever and so on, I will pick him up below the place there and I will take him in. If he wants to go on the ground, I will facilitate that arrangement as well. So so I said keep living in Laluli Street. I remember in Queenstown, police have to go and Gardy, right? So yes, so Garfield is no more. He died this morning at the age of 89. And let me say this: they used to debate, and you heard the debating as to who is the greatest all-rounder. He ain't got no match. And when we talk about all-rounder, Garfield Sobers, you know, his prowess as a batsman, right? And, you know, they say for the first, sometime he didn't start all that well. And then he caught, Pakistan at Sabina Park. When he made, the first time he can pass three figures, he went on to make 365 runs. And that record stood for 30-something years until Brian Lara broke it. They tell you about Callis. Callis was a medium pace bowler and a batsman. Sobers opening, bowling medium pace. Then he will come back and bowl orthodox left arm spin. And then he would also bowl left arm wrist spin. And he was a fantastic fielder. We used to say pickpocket. When Gibbs bowling, Sobers a right under the bat. Right under the bat. So the ball bounced and thing there. So I remember one time the man catch the ball, put it in the pocket. Them days you used to get big celebration like how they do now. But gives ball to somebody and the man go forward inside the jar to the pot. So was in the pocket. And he get the limp and he gone and so. Fantastic. None can come close to him. Because he was an outstanding fielder in any place. He's an outstanding batsman. He's an outstanding bowler with a new ball, left hand, medium pace. He came back, he bowled wrist spin. He also bowled orthodox left hand spin. So they can't test him. They can't test him, right? 8,032 runs, right? Our greatest is not judged by most wicket and most runs. Check to see how many matches people like Callis and them play. Check to see how many matches they play. So it was in them days when them play cricket, you get intercontinental flights and so on. Them men got to travel by boat for weeks and months to reach when they go to Australia. You got to understand and study this thing, you know. You're going to Australia, is weeks and months up on the boat going to Australia to arrive there. I remember reading about, I think it was Tony Koza or something, they talk about the endless test match because in those days, if the series was leveled going into the last test, then you would play until there's a result. So there's no 5-day play. In one case, they say the match had to be abandoned. You know why? Because the players had to join the boat to come back. The players have to go to catch the boat to return to the West Indies, and therefore they have to call off the match, right? So let me. I think I have seen a lot about this cricket thing and so on. And apologies to those of you who are not sports lovers, who are not cricketers and so on. So let me move on. Now, the next subject I want to deal with is something that I talked about on Wednesday, right? Remember Wednesday we talked about the appointment of the principal magistrate, Jujy Latchman, as the new chief magistrate, superseding the acting chief magistrate in the process. Remember we talked about that? Faith Magusti thing? All right. Now, I just do more work, Hear what they had said. I read this to you, and I can read a part so that you can understand where I'm coming from. 6 new appointees to take the bench. The Judicial Service Commission has announced that the appointment of Principal Magistrate Jujy Latchman to serve in the judiciary of Guyana in the post of Chief Magistrate. The appointment, which was made by the Commission on 7th of January 2025, will take effect from that date. All right. Let me don't read any further. They're telling us that the appointment of the Principal Magistrate to the post of Chief Magistrate was made by the Judicial Service Commission on the 7th of January 2025. The question is asked, why did she not take up the position? If you make this appointment since January the 7th, all the time she's been referred to as the principal magistrate. And the Faith Magusti was known to be the acting chief magistrate. And I made a mistake on Wednesday when I said that she took over from Anne McLennan. I would need to correct that. I think after Anne McLennan retired, it was Sherdel Isaacs Marcus who was acting chief magistrate until she was appointed as a judge. And then I think this is when Principal Magistrate Faith Magusti took over. Now you're saying that this appointment was made since January the 7th, 2025. Now, by the Judicial Service Commission. Folks, y'all take note, listen to this. And I hope that the media people will ask these questions. I'm not a media operative. Now, when at that time, let me say this first. The Judicial Service Commission has 5 members. 3 ex officio, meaning by virtue of their office, and 2 appointed by the president after meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. Right? Those 3 ex officio officers are the Chancellor of the Judiciary, the Chief Justice, and the Chairman of the Public Service Commission. Right? And then 2 appointed by the president. Therefore, when I do my research, on January the 7th, when these people are claiming that the principal magistrate, Jujy Latchman, was appointed as the chief magistrate, the members of the Judicial Service Commission would have been the Chancellor, Janet Cummins, the Chief Justice, Madam Roxanne George, Mani Ram Prasad as chairman of the Public Service Commission, Carl Singh and B.S. Roy, they would have been appointed. Let me put on the handle. Mr. Carl Singh, retired former chancellor, former acting chancellor, and retired High Court Judge, Mr. B.S. Roy. Those would have been the persons who comprised the police, the Judicial Service Commission at that time. So, somebody here can ask the former chancellor, Madam Janet Cummins, if she knew about this appointment, if she was part of this thing. Yeah, with Mani Ram Prasad. Now, I said something wrong. Mani Ram Prasad, as the chairman of the Public Service Commission, is an ex officio member. Mani Ram Prasad, right? So, wait, y'all are going to ask, these journalists, don't tell me you ask are lazy. I'm sure you must have a line where you could communicate to the former chancellor, Madam Roxanne, Madam Janet Cummins, to find out from her. That's how media people work. Find out from her, because they're saying, I think the chancellor is the chair of that commission, because they're saying that that appointment was made since the 7th of January 2025. Nobody is going to do some investigative reporting to because it is my view that they lie. It is my view that they are lying. Right? So wait, I ain't gonna follow. You just take it, sir. That they tell you this appointment made since the 7th of January 2025. Right? And as I've said, the composition then of would have been Madam Janet Cummings Edwards would have been the Chancellor, and therefore being an ex officio member of the Judicial Service Commission. Madam Roxanne George would have been the acting Chief Justice, and she too would have been a member of that commission at the time. Well, Maniram is Maniram. Maniram can say whatever they want him to say. And then you have Justice, retired acting Chancellor Carl Singh, and retired Justice B.S. Rai. Y'all ain't gonna find up. Y'all ain't gonna go for find out. At least call them to find out. Seek an interview with the acting Chancellor now. Because if they're telling us that this appointment was made since then the acting Chancellor would have been involved. The former Chancellor, Janet Cummings Edwards, too would have been involved. So I've given y'all a little work to do, journalists. I've given y'all a little work to do. I just sit down and I just think these things through. Because the first thing, as I said, caught attention when they said this appointment made since the 7th of January 2025. Did she know? Did they give her any letter? Anybody knew of this? Anybody, or they make it in their mind? And if you made it since then, why wait until now? They themselves were reporting all along that when Madam Judy Lashman was doing this extradition case, they were always referring to her as the principal magistrate. Always. So I would hope that this is followed up. Right? I do me peace. Right? I reveal it because I believe it's a big fat lie. And they are known for that. They are known. So I've given the journalists their assignment. Let me see what's going to happen. Me ain't gonna hold my breath, no, Toro. Me ain't holding my breath. But the thing is there. That is something to be pursued. That is something to be pursued. Right? So, as I've said, I'm giving them little work. And students, as I laid out the date, I lay out the date. 7th of January, they said this appointment was made. And it is effective since then. I ain't going into the other issues about the propriety of such an appointment when you have somebody acting and all that everything, right? Somebody asks a question in one of the posts about having two persons holding the same position as chief magistrate, and as was pointed out, I think it was Winston or somebody pointed out, it is not unusual, because if you are the substantive rank holder and you are on leave, then somebody can act for you. It happens all the time. The person holding the rank and public service rules, if I remember correctly, once a person goes on leave for 21 days or more, someone can act for them and pay the necessary acting allowance. If it's less than 21 days, then I don't think you can be made to act. You carry out the functions, as I did when I was the second most senior man in the force, and then Green was the commissioner, and Henry went on wherever you have to go, and I carried out the function, not acting. I carried out the function, right? I see. Let me read something here that is written. I want to see if it's related to this. Yeah, I've been told, Chief Magistrate, this is what date, January 9, 2025. They said she tipped as new magistrate. Judy Lashman tipped. This is from January 9, 2025. Judy Lashman tipped as new magistrate, and then January 9, 2025, tipped as new magistrate. The Service Commission has recommended that senior magistrate Judy Lashman be appointed the new chief magistrate, and then they want as appointed. But they are telling us that this appointment was made since the 7th. But the news is saying, the news of the 9th is saying that she was tipped, and they recommended her to be the thing. But they are telling us that the appointment was made since then. So they need to clarify whether the appointment was in fact made then. And if the appointment was made then, right? Why was it not announced? Why did she not take up the position? That is a question to be asked and answered. But let me move into another issue. I'm going now to this. Y'all share the life, because y'all gonna find this very interesting. I know everything you find interesting, but let me say this. I'm talking here now about this reopened murder investigation, because again, we do my little work. I'm talking about the reopened murder investigation. The reopening of the murder investigation, Ricardo Fagundes, called paper shards, right? You know, we learned that the police suddenly said, at least it's been said, that they found new evidence. They uncovered some new evidence. As a result, they reopened the investigation, arrested Mark Richmond. I think by now they arrested Mark Richmond and 3 other persons and so on, right? Questioning. Mark Richmond was there for about 6 days. And as I indicated before, I'm repeating it with emphasis. This is, well, let me before I even go there, let me say this. It is my view that this is a big fishing expedition. Fishing expedition, and I'm a fish with cast net. So when you throw your cast net, you throw them wide. And anything you pull up there, you pull up cricket, you pull up all sort of thing in the thing. It's a big fishing expedition. And I can tell you all why I say so, you know. And coming back to fishing, I know about fishing as a little boy. And I ain't talking about commercial fishing. I talking about what we consider real fishing. You go in you throw cast net. Well, I never developed that skill. The president knows that skill because I have seen photographs of the president in finale throwing cast net. So you know that. Throw cast net. Then you used to get the little hook. You buy your pin, you take your pin, and you get warm bait. You get a piece of cork with a piece of a piece of twine, and you back your line, and then you trench, you catch in your little patois and so on. So I know about that. Then for some of us who used to go in the back dam, you go and you throw long line. I know country people, tongue people don't know what long line. Long line basically is that you have a long piece of rope, not rope necessarily, a long piece of twine. You tie your bait to the end on the hook and you throw it in the canal. And then you will check intermittently to see if anything hook. Sometimes when you go and check, all you find is the remnants of some fish, because sometimes it takes too long and this one is caught and the others eat it out. So I know about that. Right? I know about that. Then you go and you feel for fish. I used to do that. I love feeling for fish. You feel for fish in these drains or in the shallow back dam canals. Shallow, got to be shallow. Water got to be maybe just above your ankle. And you will shy. Let me give you your countryman life, you know. You're shy. Or why you shy? You take your hand and then you cling the water in front of you. And the fish will then run into the mud, and the mud can bubble where the fish went. You're going to feel, you pick up your pato, you put it in your bag. You shy. And then some people shy with mud. You got to get skill. You pick up some mud, you shy, same thing, but instead of getting mud coming up, you will see where the clear water comes up. And you go and you feel and you pick up your fish. There's another thing, you go in and fish, right? Well, basically, uri pato sunfish. Sunfish is then the coconut boat. When you pick up a coconut boat, sunfish like live in them coconut boat. Or if you get a coconut that was cut and thrown in there, they gone in, you get your fish and so on. Right? Now let me give you your experience with fishing in the BV sideline back dam side. Me and Lennox. What was Lennox last name? I used to call him Jack Adogan. Lennox, right? And we got along there. Well, Lennox is a bigger bite for me. And we shying. And Lennox picking up some big patois and so on. So on one occasion, when we shy, I see a big bubble and I run to front. And I put my hand down and I feel the thing. Now it felt as if it's a uri. Now, if you know you're feeling for fish, when you feel the uri, you have got to slide one of your hand until you get to the gill. And then you put your fingers into the gill and you raise it up. Because if you were to raise it up before that, the uri is so slippery, you can slip out your hand and get away. So I see this thing. This is Church of God story. I see this big thing, and I run. I put my hand and I slide in, and I slide in, and I slide in, and I slide in. There's a little comedy raise up here. Man, if you see me, buddy, out the place, a little comedy. Little comedy, that little comedy raise up there, out the place. Well, Lennox decide, when I remember this, I got a laugh. Lennox decide that we're going to catch this comedy and we're going to carry it to the zoo. We might get a little raise. So, yeah, Lennox Bavigans, correct, yeah. I know if he was Bavigans, I know Ashton and them were Bavigans, but I'm not sure that Lennox was Bavigans. I'm not sure. Natalie was Bavigans, Ashton was Bavigans. I don't sure what Lennox was Bavigans, right? So, Lennox decided that we're going to bring this thing, get to the zoo. So we bring it out to the back dam now. Everybody watching there, watching. You know what slow street there they had by me? They used to get a pole in the street to prevent cars from going. But they are taking out the pole. So this big old thing there. Lennox decided you can put this thing in there. Because we can't get passage to got the tongue. You ain't got no passage to got the tongue. So we can put this thing. Lennox put this thing inside this hole. You get this by Ian Moffat. Ian Moffat used to live at the Kush them there. Name he came Omawali, the renowned sculptor in Guyana. Wicked man, all of we grew up together. Bigger by them, we all we grew up. Lennox got some Ian got somewhere, Ian Moffat got somewhere, get some gasoline. Show the gasoline and light this comedy of fire in the place. So the comedy died in the hole, right in front by the shop. Pour me now and get me luck. When the thing started to smell up, my old man insisted that I got to go and carry this thing and throw it away in the sideline. I had to go and carry it and throw it in the sideline. Some know the next type of fishing I know about is that when they get banding, countryman, them tongue people there know about that. And when we talk about banding, that is when the estate, LBI estate in my case, they would, after a crop, they would flood a couple of fields with water. They flood it. And they left it there for months and perhaps even a year, left it long, because I think the idea was to rejuvenate the soil and all of that. So they left it. So we call it abandon. And then at some stage, you're on board and pass on that the abandon open. That means they're letting out the water. And when they let out the water, blow out the water, a lot of fish, uri, patois, all sort of fish that's there in there. So you used to go there now with your flower bag, and you just got to pick up and put in your bag. And I can remember what them biders do. Hey, hello, what this is so you little, them thing now you do them thing now you got to jail. But sometimes them by lazy, I see them bigger by lazy, they ain't going to put their half pick up no fish. Some men just go with 2 bags, 3 bags. And when they full one, they carry it in the nearby cane field and they leave it there. For go back and full the other one. So when they gone and they take it there, they might pick up the bag and they gone with them. Pick up the bag and they gone. And then when you get home now, in the place there, roast fish. If you could raise a little money, you could fry. But most times it's roast. You get little fire and you roast pato with little salt and you eat. If you get little money too, you might get a little, you get edo, and you make little curry pato with edo, with little rice, and it's moonlight night, and you sit down and you eat. Yeah. So I know about fishing. I'll tell you all this. I do. So this thing with this opening in this case is a big fishing exercise. It's a big fishing. And why I say that? They told us that this matter is open because they get new evidence. You get new evidence. You arrest a man, you had him there for 6 days. And then nobody charge, you release him. Arrest other people, had them for days, and have to release them too. I said before that they are fishing for ACI. They're fishing to get an admission from somebody, C, to get a confession, and I, to get somebody implicated. I hold that view. Because I can't see, and I'm talking here now as a former senior police officer, FBI trained. I can't see you decide that you get new evidence and you're going to hold a man for 6 days. And at the end of the 6 days, the people sent from bail. So what new evidence you get? What new evidence did you get to cause you to not only open, you can reopen, but to cause you to arrest someone. What new evidence did you have? Maybe they can come and tell you, and I say, when they come, don't tell me that you can't give the evidence, because I told you already, when you had the case of Sir Mars, who was murdered, right? The suspect gave a confession statement on tape, a video confession statement. And that video confession statement given to the police investigators found itself on a newsroom newscast. The confession statement in a murder case found himself there. And in the same matter, the wife of the suspect gave a statement seeking to clear her husband. And that statement too found itself in the media. That statement. So don't tell me that y'all don't think. Don't tell me that. Right? And let me say this. Let me go to notes. Young police, you make note now. Y'all make note. This is not only about listening now, you have to make a note. A person can be connected with a crime in several ways. A person can be connected with a crime in several ways. And this is not going to be just abstract, what I'm going to tell you now. This is not just abstract. This is real. I'm going to give you it real. And I made some notes, so let me refer to my notes. Now, the first way a person can be connected with a crime is as a principal in the first degree. We did it before. CC and I did this before. A principal in the first degree. And they say a principal in the first degree is the person who actually committed the criminal act. That person is called a principal in the first degree. And let me come to the same investigation. They say they reopen. The principal or the principals, because you can have more than one, in the first degree would be the people who shot paper shards. Because evidence suggests that there was more than one shooter. I think they said they found empty casings used in an AK-47 with 7.62 by 39. I think they said they found 9mm pistol, which can use in either submachine gun or a pistol. They found. So the suggestion there, the evidence suggests that there were more than one principals in the first degree, right? Now, the example I gave here, say, for example, John and Rob plan to shoot someone. John is one who actually pulls the trigger. So John is the principal in the first degree. Every crime must have at least one principal in the first degree. So again, let me tell you, there's a way for persons to be connected to a crime. As a principal in the first degree, the person who actually did the crime. And there can be more than one principals in the first degree. As I've said, dealing with the paper shard case, if several persons fired, I think they said he received about 20 gunshot wounds. So there can be several principals in the first degree. But the key thing here is they have to have been the persons who shoot. They have to have been the persons who shoot. So even if you were there and you didn't shoot, let me go on to that. Then you have a principal in the second degree. You have a principal in the second degree. Remember, principal in the first degree is the people who actually commit the crime, the murder. Then you have a principal in the second degree. They say here, the notes say that the principal in the second degree is present while the crime happens. They got to aid and abet this crime. And it's a legal term for planning or helping. Planning or helping principal in the second degree. Right? So they're there for the crime, but they do not personally perform the acts. In other words, they don't shoot, but they're there. They are there. Whether they're there as a lookout, whether they're there as a driver, they are principals in the second degree. They don't do the actual shooting. Right? And as far as I know, all that have been said, right? They're calling Azudin name, even when the allegations were made. I don't think it was ever said that Azudin was a principal in the first degree in the murder of paper shards. I don't think they ever said that. Maybe the new evidence might want to say that. Right? So you have a principal in the second degree. And here it says further, the same scenario, For example, John and Rob decided to murder Jamie. Rob is present when John does the shooting, but Rob just stand there. He does not do anything illegal, just such as use a weapon or try to move or hide the body. He just stand up there. Now he's a second-degree principal. He's a principal in the second degree because he was there while the crime happened. He is a principal in the second degree. Hope y'all are following me. Let me know if I'm making sense, you know. Y'all share, man, share. Let me know if I'm making sense. Because y'all gonna see where I'm coming from. I ain't getting to the meat of the thing yet. Y'all gonna see where I'm coming from, right? Then they say you can still be charged with a crime if you are not physically at the scene of the crime. The term and the term they apply are either constructively, you are not present at the crime scene. Actually, you are present at the crime scene. Right? Remember, coming back to the first principle in the first degree, you got to be the person who committed the crime. You have to be the person who committed the crime. There can be a principle in the second degree that you were there, but you didn't actually do the shooting. You did not actually do the shooting. Right? All right, let me move on. Thank you, Martin. And they say, again, for example, Rob is the lookout for the crime, but does not watch the crime occur. He does see the crime occur, but he's a lookout, right? Rob will still be considered a principal in the second degree because he was there constructively. He was there constructively. You know, I used to like lectures to recruit and other people when I'm warming up, right? When I'm warming up, we used to like explain in detail, give examples. That doesn't read nothing, give examples, right? Now, then you have a third way a person can be connected with a crime as an accessory before the fact. You can be connected as an accessory before the fact. Accessory before the fact charges are most common. An accessory before the fact is like a principal in the second degree because they help the person committing the crime, are not present at the crime. They are not present at the crime. Often, this is the person who plans the crime. Yeah, we talking about here now, we talking about that accessory before. They said normally the person who plans the crime, because they are just the brains, because they are just the brains of the crime, but do not act on anything, they can be considered an accessory before the fact. So you plan the crime, you and go. Paper chance again, let me come to the real thing so we can understand. Let's say the crime is planned by whoever planned the crime. They didn't go to the crime scene. They weren't part of the thing. They're not a principal in the first degree. They didn't shoot. They're not a principal in the second degree. They weren't there. So, but they planned the crime. The person planned the crime. So they are considered an accessory before the fact. Right? For example, again, John draws up plans to steal money from a bank. The plan includes the security guards' shift hours, the vault combination, and the time it will take for the police to show up. Next, John gives these plans to Rob, and Rob thinks that John wrote a pretty good plan. Now Rob gathers his friends and steals the money. Here, John could be considered an accessory before the fact. You plan the thing, you're the brains. You sit down there, you plan, we're going to go rob this place, or we're going to go kill the man, and so on. You all the plan. You can do this, you use this vehicle, you can go, we can approach this way, we can do that. Your plan, but you don't turn up, you ain't going there. You ain't going there. So you are an accessory before the fact. Y'all following me? You following me? You're an accessory before the fact. Now, let me come to this part. Now, you can also be an accessory after the fact. You're an accessory after the fact. Finally, a person could be charged with being an accessory after the fact. This charge is for a person who does not take part in the physical crime, provides assistance to the principals after they have committed the crime. Let me read that again. The accessory after the fact. Let me see a comment. It's accessory after the fact. The person does not take part in the physical crime. In other words, the person wasn't there for the shooting, right? Wasn't there for the shooting. The person provides assistance to the principals after they have committed the crime. And it goes on. In most common example is when a person eyes another person from the police. For example, Rob and John steal jewelry from a jewelry store. After they run out of the store, they drive straight to Rob's mother's house. Rob's mother sees all the stolen jewelry, and Rob admits they are on the run from the law. He begs his mother to hide them until the police stop looking for them. Rob's mother agrees to hide them in the basement. Then she hides Rob's car. In this example, Rob's mother could be charged with being an accessory after the fact. All right. Let me go to the next piece of note that I get. I'll come back because y'all tell me, say, I'm making sense. And if you tell me, say, I'm making sense, I must continue to make sense. I must continue to make sense. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm checking the wrong place. Hold on. Y'all bear with me, man. You see, long ago when me part of been I would have been able to think. Now, then we say, as we say, the principle after. And so what happens? Let me go back to the same case again. I tell you, this is not something abstract. We're going to deal with it properly. We were told, we were told that when after this crime was committed, it is alleged that monies were paid for the matter to be covered up. Y'all remember that? Boscom said that Azudin Mohammed paid Mitchell Caesar, the head of the major crime unit, $30 million Guyana dollars to cover up this crime. To cover up. Now we are talking about accessory after the fact. Accessory, if you cover up, if you're involved in a cover up, and the definition says that if you know a crime has been committed and you seek to cover up the crime, you can be deemed an accessory after the fact. Let me repeat that. If you know of a crime and you actively work to cover up the crime, like accepting money to cover up the crime and so on, you can be considered an accessory after the fact. And I say that to say that it has been alleged that the reason why no proper investigation was done initially, for example, Mark Richmond, even though his name was called, was never arrested. Other people, including police officers and government people, it is suggested, it is alleged that they knew, but because of the relationship with them and people who can be considered either accessory after the fact or principal in the second degree, because they knew them, and because of the relationship, nothing was done. It means, therefore, if we have to follow the definition, if they knew of the crime and did anything to cover up that crime, they are accessories after the fact. That means, as you know, the definition, Black's Law Dictionary and all of these things talk about accessory after the fact. So again, if they know this crime was committed, and as was being alleged, it was alleged that money passed to cover up the crime. If they know that, first of all, the person who collected the money, accessory after, clear. And if others knew of this crime and did anything to aid in the covering up of this crime, they are accessories after the fact. They are connected to this crime and can be charged as accessories. Somebody asks you what is the punishment and so on. So the punishment varies. Even if you're convicted of murder, the punishment varies and so on, right? But I want to make this clear. So I come to the next point now. And y'all answer me this. If we are following what was related in this whole matter, this man gone down, right? That's indisputable. Can't dispute that. People escape. CCTV cameras weren't able to pick up this. Again, why weren't the CCTV cameras unable to? Is it that was part of the plan to make sure that these cameras were not working. If so, those persons who were in charge of the plan are connected to the crime, either accessory before the fact or in some other way. This thing is deep, you know. You see, that is why they're jumping around, and they would never ever bring no credible, independent people to investigate this, because this, what I'm telling you here, is all any proper investigation will go into all of this, because the people who are to be charged, if any charges to be brought, is not only them who pull the trigger, it's not them who only plan the crime, but them who aid in the covering up of the crime. They are accessories after the fact and should be charged as well. So let me understand it. Let me tell you something again. I am saying to you, because you know there's jump, I'm saying to you, I'm not pointing any finger directly at anybody. I am telling you what the textbook says. I am teaching what the textbook says. How persons are connected to the crime. So don't run about and just look for the man who pulled the trigger. Yes, that is an important man in the whole thing, the trigger man. But what about the planning? As I've said, anybody who plan. And then in this case, I'm emphasizing, what about the people who would have been or could have been or may have been involved in the covering up of the crime? They too are connected to the crime. They are legally liable. They collect crime. So whoever, so if you're going to investigate, you have to investigate all of that. And I say therefore, yeah, if the cameras were disabled, and you get evidence that people deliberately disable these cameras or deliberately decide to erase the images of this crime, they are accessories to the crime. And depending on when it was erased, if it's after, then they are accessories after. And then they could have very well be accessories before too, because if it is before the crime was committed, they got involved. So this is a whole story. It's a can of worms that they're talking about. And I said this too. If, as I have outlined, all of these people can be involved in this crime in some way. Principal in the first degree, principal in the second degree, accessory before the fact, accessory after the fact. Who investigating? If it's alleged that the head of the major crime unit, that's the allegation, was an accessory after he collect money to cover up this crime. So who investigating? He investigating himself? The major crime unit investigating a crime where the boss of the major crime was alleged to, or could be alleged to have been an accessory after the fact. Who can investigate this? Who can conduct a credible investigation? Who can conduct a credible investigation into this matter? You see, this thing is deep. This thing is deep. As I said, they're fishing and they're fishing and fishing because their main interest is to pin it on certain people. They don't want to go deep down into it. That is their main interest, to find the slightest evidence. Because as I've said before, and remember this, I like to repeat myself so you could understand. This is not about getting evidence to secure a conviction. That's nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with a conviction. It has to do with getting, well, not even, you even have to get evidence. Because from my experience, they're going to charge you without a scintilla of evidence. Right? Not an iota of evidence. I had that experience because that is what the magistrate said in dismissing the charge of conspiracy to commit fraud against me, the late C.C. Whitaker, George Fraser, Mark Gilbert, and others. The magistrate said, when she looked at it, there was not an iota of evidence. So you got to get evidence. They wanted a certain outcome to get us off the Police Service Commission. They're going to collude. Yeah, they're going to collude. And they charge you, knowing full well that at the end of the day, the matter is going to be dismissed. But the aim, as I said, the aim is not to get a conviction. The aim is just to charge you and get you off the scene. As in my case, once they charge, they get Mark Phillips for signing, say, well, you must show reasons why you mustn't advise the president to remove you as chairman of the Police Service Commission. That was the aim. So it wasn't a question as to whether evidence is there or not. It was a question, once you get the charge, Then they use the fact that you were charged. So there's no presumption of innocence and all them shit there, anything. They use the fact that you were charged to say, well, we can move you off of the Police Service Commission. I believe my crystal ball is telling me that it's the same plan, this type of diabolical plan that they have for the leader of the opposition. And again, I got to emphasize, I all know briefly the leader of the opposition. He was part of them, all them been in the thing together. Then the body, some of them turn out. According to what Jack Dio said, yeah, let know the PPP. Let me won't even get that tape anyway. Jack Dio said so. Yeah, Jack Dio said, yeah, let know the PPP. I'm gonna try and find it and play it. Right? Hold on. Jack Dio said, I think this is it here. Listen to this.
Who's now being discriminated against by the PPP because of his race. Let me give you some of the particulars of the charges. So, I have here a long list, the particular of the offenses.
I'm not sure if there's the right tape. Let me see if it's this one.
Let me make it clear what our policies are. We support the police force. We support the leadership of the police force. We support them to do their work, but they must comply with the laws of this country. The PPP will not tolerate corruption in the police force or anywhere else. And when we find corruption in the police force or anywhere else, there will be no attempt to cover it up. So if you believe that you have a special relationship with the government and that we will, pursuant to that relationship, cover up your misdeeds, you have it wrong. You don't know the PPP. And let me also make it clear.
You know the PPP. And there's message to people like Bond and all them because y'all know the PPP. You know the PPP. So you believe because all the thing and you finance them and so on, you don't know the PPP, right? You don't know these diabolical planners. And I want to say whether he said when I use the word diabolical, I must explain. And he says that to break it down, the wicked, stink, and dirty. You don't know these wicked, stink, and dirty planners. You don't know these wicked, stink, and dirty planners. Y'all say, y'all know the PPP. Y'all know the PPP, right? So, as I said, therefore I say, I am, it's not, I don't know, brief. I am bringing it as I was taught. I put it to I was taught. This is how they taught me in Guyana at the FBI Academy, at the Staff College in England to analyze things in this manner. And the thing about it, when you retire, as I did almost 16 years ago, the knowledge won't retire with you. The knowledge don't retire. The knowledge is still there. The knowledge is still there. And I know because many of them benefiting from the knowledge. They're not going to admit it. They're not going to admit it, but they benefit from the knowledge. As I've said, back in the day, I would have been invited at a convenient time to go and make presentations to mostly senior people. And I would share my experience, tell them about the law and so on, and they would learn. But now they got me down as person non grata, right? But I still feel that I should share the knowledge. So I share it. It might be in an unorthodox way, right? Might be to them an unpleasant way. But I would urge them to forget about the unorthodoxness, to forget about the unpleasantness, because then the only people who will feel it's unorthodox and unpleasant are those who are corrupt. Because them are the ones I just lace. I don't like corruption. I don't like it. Corruption is anathema to me. I don't like corruption. And so therefore anybody who corrupt are the ones who are going to say, well, slow coming and talking and slow coming and talking. Yeah, I will continue to talk. Because the can't point, when I retired, at the farewell speech, I made the point in front of her. There are hundreds of people there. That's on the record. I retired after 37 years. And I told them, nobody in and out of Ghana can point the finger at me and say that I asked them for a bribe or they gave me a bribe for it. None. None of them. And since then, 16 years and counting, they can't come with nothing. They can't come with nothing. Because that is why I'm proud. I can raise my head. I could walk the road. Proud. I charge a whole set of, when I was traffic chief, people know I had a reputation, lock up people, charge people, and everything. Yeah. And some of those same people would meet me and tell me how fair I was. Man tell me, said, Chief, you used to lock me up steady, minibus driver. He said, but let me tell you something. It's just that I was unlucky because like every time I do something wrong, you about. Yeah, because as traffic chief, people know me used to be on the road in the morning. Traffic chief work is not sitting down in the office and talk a lot of crap about NCN and all them type of thing. That's what they do. I used to run the road in the morning. Run the road. And I remember a senior officer telling me that his wife told him, his wife used to work at GNCB, the co-op bank there by the old fire station. She said when they go to work in the morning, that was the talk in the GNCB. And when they look at the car park, they used to say, slow bin bouty, because they see order. And they say once they see order, they know that either slow the boat or slow bin bouty for the morning. Slow bin boat. I remember some time ago, might have been last year, for the last, walking by Demico, and a man come to me, the man says, Skipper, what you going on there? Enough confusion. The man said, look, when you've been around, nothing like this could happen. I smile. I said, well, after one time comes another. After one time, they're all talk. They're all talk. No action, just talk. Just talk. Now, I talk in a lot here too. So let me, that's something else I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to start this issue and not, let me tell you this. No, go into some greater detail. As I told you all, the judicial, I remember I told you about 2 weeks ago that coming up to the 14th of July, which was a couple days ago, there will be a flurry of activities by the Judicial Service Commission. So we see the appointing magistrates and the appointing judges and the appointing register. I predicted that. And I said the reason why is because the life of the Judicial Service Commission is coming to an end. It should end around the 13th or 14th of July this year. Because according to the Article 198 of the Constitution, the life is 3 years from the time they were appointed, 3 years. And they were appointed in 2023, so it's interesting. Right? Tell you all that. Now, the Police Service Commission, the members were sworn in 2022. March or April, sometime around 2022. I can't remember the exact date. And the life came to an end in 2025. Right? 2025. Now, at the time when they were sworn in, the people who were sworn in as the member of the Police Service Commission were the late chairman, what's his name? Patrick Finley, the Chuanam, or Nesto Chuanam, sworn in. The third member was, they also sworn Mark Conway, attorney at law, who passed away, Conway cousin, who passed away. And the fourth member, businessman Aki Mohammed, was not sworn in at that time because he think he was not available. They went ahead, started to make promotion. CC pointed out, CC was a man, I got to give him credit for that, pointed out that the Police Service Commission was not properly constituted and should not be doing any work because according to the article in the Constitution, the Police Service Commission is comprised of a chairman, and then I tell you how the chairman is identified, the chairman of the Public Service Commission, and then they tell you the other members and so on. At the time, in 2022, there was no chairman of the Public Service Commission. And therefore, CC argued, successfully I might add, that the Service Commission was not properly constituted. Attorney at Law, Senior Counsel Rizal Ford, picked up on it and he made similar comments. The Attorney General Nandalal wrote someplace or he said something. It's there in the record. So I am free to say that Ford, Fallon, Slow, and Conway, women lie and all them thing. The matter went to court, and eventually the acting Chief Justice ruled that Conway, we were correct, that in the absence of a chairman of the Public Service Commission, the Police Service Commission cannot be said to be properly constituted, right? So on the 13th, I think, of July, 13th of July 2023, the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Man Iram Prasad, was appointed. And therefore, the Police Service Commission then became fully constituted, even though the instrument that they got would have been since 2022. May, I think it was 2022. And the life, therefore, would have come to an end in May 2025, because that is what the Constitution says, that the life of the commission is 3 years from the date of the appointment, and they were appointed in 2022. You know what is wicked, stink, and dirty people do? They wanted to use the fact that Maniram Prasad was appointed until July 2023 to say, well, it's then the Police Service Commission was appointed. And again, I say, I am sorry that these lawyers and these people don't take up this thing to the court, you know. They don't take it to court. So what they did, this is from the police, the Public Police Service Commission, because it's one administration. Public/Police Service Commission, held in one building, the one set of staff and all sort of thing in Kingston there, right? The Winkle Street or whatever it may. I saw last night, tell you how these people dishonest. I saw last night a release from the Public Police Service Commission. It says announcement. Hear what they say. The Police Service Commission's 3-year term, listen to this carefully, you know. The Police Service Commission's 3-year term ended on July the 13th, 2026. The Commission wants to thank His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, for letting them serve during this time. The Commission also honors the late Chairman Bishop Patrick Finlay and the late member Lloyd Mark Conway for their commitment to the Guyana Police Force and the work of the Commission. The Commission also recognizes the service of its members, Ernesto Chuafat, Aki Mohammed, Maniram Prasad. The Police Service Commission feels grateful and confident that its work over the last 3 years has helped shape the Guyana Police Force. The work over the past 3 years helped destroy the Guyana Police Force. I'm saying that without any fear of contradiction, because even last year, here are the dishonest. I'm going to show you all something. We're dishonest. When the president had that nightmare and said that all these 2,800 people were to be promoted, right? They promoted people who were to be promoted by the Police Service Commission. That is August last year, in the run-up to general and regional elections. And what did they say? What did they say? They said that the promotions had been made since earlier the year. That is when the commission was really alive. It had been made. Now, if you're promoted in August and you're saying that the commission was still alive, why you got to say it had been made since then, right? And then here, what's the story? What's the story? Then this one, Jai Singh is the secretary to the commission. So they decide to present them with some plaque. So this is all part of the post, and watch. You decide to present this is Ernesto Chuafat, this is Man Iram Prasad, and this is Aki Mohammed. So they are being presented with this token, whatever it was, and the impression is created that it's at the end of their stint, which they claim ended on the 13th of July. But what you observe, let me see if you are student or observant, man. Let me see if you are observant. Let me give you an observation test. What you see looking strange. Let me tell you, the presentation is made, wherever it is made, and look at it. This is the secretary to the Police Service Commission, Jai Singh, found him to be a liar. And I have evidence to that effect. Right? This is he again. This is he. Now, you making this presentation, you're giving the impression that this presentation was made at the end. The man got on 3 different shots, man. Look, 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 look. 3 different shots. So you're telling me, Jai Singh, that you change to present to Ernesto Chuafat, then you change to present to Maniram Prasad, and then you change to present to Akim Mohammed. That is what you are leading us to believe. It's to show how they are dishonest. They are wicked, stink, and dirty. The man got a different shot on each occasion, which suggests the evidence suggests that is different times this thing was done, and not on one occasion. And they tried to say, well, the grateful and giving the impression that these things were done at the end of the tenure of these people. I believe people stupid. So he changed the shot after each presentation. In whatever order it was done. He changed to present to Maniram Prasad. Then he changed to present to Ernesto Chuafat, incidentally, who named Khalid and Nas other thing on social media. And then he changed to present to Akim Mohammed. That is what the thing. And look the background to, yeah, different background. Different. Obviously, the things were presented at different times, right? But the release, what I'm saying, tried to give the impression that this was all done at the end of the life of the commission. For all you know, they knew that this thing came to an end since 2025, whenever. And perhaps, you know, for all you know, the presentations were done since long ago. Since long ago. You see, that's why I tell you all. That's what I tell you all. The training, the police training, to be able to observe these things and to be able to see these things right away and call them out. Right away, I see the thing last night. I said, this is cocky. This is cock. And as I said, Jacobins, I sing, I have found him to be a liar. And they say a liar is a thief. Right? I have evidence to that effect. So if they want to come and think, let it come. Let me bring out the evidence. Let me bring out the evidence. Right? He's the man who, when Finley died, they had a night of reflection. I pray the man said, how I give you hard time and all that sort of thing. Anybody who give you hard time because they're dishonest. They are dishonest. Because I made the point too that when I took over as chairman of the Police Service Commission in 2018, he was not there. Someone else was the secretary. We had a female secretary at the time. And things went well. We had promotion in 2018. We had promotion in 2019, no problem. Then 2020, he came, the government brought him back because he was there before. He was removed, they brought him back. And we had our suspicion as to why he came back. So we were always on our P's and Q's. So when the Police Service Commission met on the 23rd of December 2020, so not 2020, 2020, and make that short list. Calvin Brutus, CB 262, swore in an affidavit that the promotion shortlist, a confidential document, was leaked to him by a confidential source at the Police Service Commission. Brutus says so in an affidavit. I have the affidavit that he swore to. He said that the confidential document that we call the police shortlist was leaked to him by a confidential source at the Police Service Commission. He did not mention the name of the confidential source, but that Police Service Commission had experienced police officers. You had me as the chairman. You had Mike Samasal, who was a retired assistant commissioner and attorney at law, who was the chairman of the Public Service Commission. You had CC Clinton Conway, retired assistant commissioner. You had Claire Jarvis, retired woman assistant commissioner. And you had Vesta Adams, retired woman assistant commissioner. So we knew with our experience, we did our own digging. And we came to the conclusion, or we came to the understanding. We found evidence as to who this confidential source at the Police Service Commission was that leaked the document to Brutus. All the time we was smooth running. And this is a man. Let me tell you something before I wind up. Friday afternoon, let you all out a little early. This is a man who publicly praised the police office commissioner that I chaired for the quality of work and the fairness in the promotion process. He wasn't asked. He came out at a meeting and he said that he must publicly feel compelled to publicly praise us, because he said he had never seen the commission work so diligently and thoroughly to vet every recommendation. And not only people were recommended, if a person was superseded, why was the person superseded? Fairness. He said so. He said so. He told me personally, right, the amount of work, because when I traveled around, I used to ask the secretary and them to send the work to me. So I get time when you're on cricket, sometimes they get rest there. I used to do the work and send it back. Not for the thing I send the reports and so on. He would sign and send it through. He complimented me. Said, Chair, you're doing a fantastic job. I never got all these reports and so on. He said so. And then he might come back with them, team up with them, and not only lie, but lie on an affidavit, which is supposed to be a criminal charge. Which is supposed to be criminal. He lied in an affidavit. He and Mark Phillips lied in affidavit. So you got no respect for them. But I said to them, you swear and lie. That is not no ordinary lie. You put your hand on the Gita or the Bible or the Quran, whatever book you subscribe to, religious book, and you swear, watch out. Karma is real. Watch out. And if it's not you, people associate with you. If you got children, you got family, bad things are going to happen. I ain't wish it. I ain't wishing it for you. But what you sow is that you are going to reap. Right? What you sow is that you're going to reap.
Karma is real. You can hurt people and think nothing will happen. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, everything comes back. And when it comes back to you, it will be tenfold. Because nothing in life goes unnoticed forever.
Karma is real. That's all you want to tell them. Karma is real. Right? So all them lying and they're lying and so on. That is well. Well, folks, as I've said, the two main issues, I hope these things are going to be followed up, especially with the appointment of the chief magistrate, they said from the 7th of January. There are a lot of questions to be asked and answered. If the appointment was made since then, why they did not announce it? Why you wait till now to make the announcement? And as I've said, at that time, you had Madam, the former chancellor would have been there as part of it. The current acting chancellor would have been a part. So maybe some enterprising journalists will seek to find out from them whether it is so. It might have very well been so, but let me know why, if it was so, why no announcement was made? Why? Over a year, this is January the 7th, 2025. You're now making this announcement in July 2026. Why? They must have some reason. And that is the thing. That is why I like some journalists in the US and them places. They would have sunk the teeth into that. They would have sunk their teeth into that to find out the reason why. I allow them to get away with that just so. They would not have allowed them to get away with it just like that. But we have some people, wherever you tell them, they accept. And that. I got a song I want to play, man. Right? I play Sparrow already. I got another song I want to play. But before I play the song, let me show you all this tape. Y'all remember this tape?
Specific fields, there will be a booth designated to that here tonight. So persons who are unemployed and looking to become employed, they can come.
Let me explain what you saw there. I'm going to play it back. This is something, I think it was at the stadium, some opening or something. The president walking, I think the U.S. ambassador was next to him. The man that you see president touching there is one of the close protection.
Specific fields, there will be a booth designated to that here tonight. So persons who are unemployed and looking to become employed, they can come down here to the Providence National Stadium and they can find out more about how they...
President snatched the bodyguard, which I believe that this song is appropriate. Listen to it.
bodyguard. I wouldn't like a job. Snakes in the grass, but no, not God. Politics, there's drinking human blood. Concrete heart, can hold no love. Bodyguard, I wouldn't like a job. Snakes in the grass, says a no, not God. Politics, there's drinking human blood. Concrete heart, can hold no love. Don't feel no way. I just get sorry for the bodyguard. Who got a gun? Who got a bomb? Who got a knife? Who's gonna lose their life? Bodyguard, I wouldn't like a job. Snakes in the grass, but no, not God. Politics, there's drinking human blood. Concrete heart, can hold no love. Bodyguard, I wouldn't like a job. Snakes in the grass, says a no, not God. Politics, there's drinking human blood. Concrete heart, I says can hold no love. What you call your president? Boy, heads of government. Mash down parliament. I just can't sorry for the bodyguard. I just can't sorry for the bodyguard. All that fretting, all that check.
Yeah, sorry for the bodyguard with the president snatch. I still Paul says so. I can't sorry for the bodyguard that the president snatch and pull out the crowd. Right? Can't sorry for him. Baba, you know, as you're going into the weekend, yeah, I see some people leaving already. But you're going to the weekend, I want you to go into the weekend in a nice frame. I have something to play for you, right? This is a wedding, and the bride's father has to make a speech. You know, you all are warned, you know, when you get wedded, certain family and so on, don't let it talk. Don't let them speak. You know what they're going to do. Let me play it for you. Listen, sit back and listen carefully. It's an English accent, so you got to listen carefully to understand what's going on. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for the father of the bride.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be having the honour of proposing a toast. So would you please see that your glasses are full? Just a spot, please. Well, a bigger spot than that. Are we running short or something? Oh, here, I'll never be able to drink all that. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you that I'm not at all sad at all at losing a daughter, especially when I'm gaining a wonderful son like Brian. Now Brian's been coming round. Oh, I'm sorry, a wonderful son like Roger. Sorry, Brian. Are you sure? Well, who was Brian then? Which one was Brian?
Just get on with it.
Ah. Well, it's a very emotional time for a father to hand his daughter into the arms of another man. And, well, you know, I can remember I used to bounce her on my knee, as I think Roger's already done. And I always used to say to her, I said, listen, daughter, I said, because I could never remember her name. I said, daughter, I said, don't you worry, Mr. Wright will come along one day. And to think she nearly threw herself away on that big Nigerian. That was you mug. Lovely tan, she said. Ended up in Peterhead. Anyway, my daughter saw the light eventually, and I think she's done the right thing in putting the baby up for adoption. Because now, of course, there's absolutely nothing to come between Roger and ourselves during these many happy days, which I'm sure have to come. Now, the wife, our mother, couldn't be more proud. And I was just like, I would just like to say how happy I am that my good wife has managed to be here after a wee operation. Although I think probably our gynaecologist would be fizzing if he knew she was up and about already. I must say it's sad to say that the groom's father is no longer with us and can't be here today. Our sympathies go out to Mrs. Magruder. I believe it's almost a year ago that our man was taken away from her by that wee lass that worked in the service station. However, whatever they are now, I'm quite sure his petrol pump's in good hand. And he probably, I'm sure, would wish his boy all the best. Now,
Will you just hurry up and sit down? You're behaving like a cretin.
Oh, I forgot to mention the minister. Yes, well done, your reverence, your holy well. Well done, and you keep a lovely vestry. And if you say these dirty magazines and the plain brown wrappers know yours, that's good enough for me. Now, just before I go, there's a message here which has come in too late for the best man to read. And it's just to say, Roger, you're all clear from the clinic. So you can go on your honeymoon with a clear conscience. Now, I would now like to propose a toast to two people who have made this a memorable and most enjoyable day for me personally. The bar staff.
When you get y'all drunken, family don't let us talk at your wedding. They come on their wrong talk. Don't let them come and talk at your wedding, wrong talk, man. Right? So I think I need to play one other song before we leave. And one Steel Pulse deserves another. So I'm going to give you this one. Let me make sure I get the right one here. Here we go.
these tracks. Stick it up, mister. Give me back, give me back, give me back, give me back my radio. Guys jumped on me, messed up my clothes, smashed and grabbed my radio. Calling all detectives, tell them a criminal at large, smoking a big fat cigarette in a flashy car, take himself superstar. Hey, life without music, I can't go. Life without music, I can't go. No, I'm gonna get it. The last thing I do can't get away. Crime don't pay. Can't get away with that. Life without music, murder style. I can't go. You have to get a music. You have to get a music. Nothing greater, nothing better like the music from my wireless. Only thing that I detest is the man who steal my wireless. Him have to run like a fugitive. Him have to run from detective. Him have to run like a fugitive. Him have to run from detective. Samuel Thomas is the thief name. He must lead a life of shame. Some of them call him Uncle Sam. Some of them call him Uncle Tom. Uncle Sam and Uncle Tom, yes, they are the same man. Yes, they aim to steal away music. T-O-M-E, T for our music. The drum and the bass have to move me way. Lyrics and song have to keep me strong. Rhythm and skank have chop the tank. Samuel Thomas, him have to get bang. Him have to get a beat. Him have to get a...
You can substitute the name. The song says, Samuel Thomas is the thief name. He must lead a life of shame. Some of them call him Uncle Sam. Some of them call him Uncle Tom. Uncle Sam or Uncle Tom, guess he is the same man. So like I said, you got to change up the name. Is the thief name? Who's the thief name? Put in whatever you want. Who is the thief name? He must lead a life of shame. Folks, I enjoy your company this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed mine as well. No, we had some. Let me tell you something, before I leave. This thing with this farm gate and this thing with this reopening of this murder investigation and done so. You can't let it. We got to analyze these things. And talking about that, there's another issue that came up. I couldn't deal with it this afternoon because of time. I'm talking about this extradition proceedings because I understand now that the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, has indicated that it will undown the ruling on the 29th of this month. So I have something I'm going to discuss it. What are the implications and so on? But it just came out from, let me tell you about extradition. Trinidad is reporting that the High Court has permanently stopped extradition proceedings against former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner, ruling that the continuation of the proceedings breached his constitutional rights to liberty. That just coming out. That just coming out of Trinidad. Just coming out of Trinidad today that the High Court in Trinidad permanently stops Warner extradition case. So Jack Warner, Austin Jack Warner, is going no place. Let's see what will happen on the 29th of July when the Caribbean Court of Justice rules in this matter. And I got to go into it in some detail because people get it all wrong, You get it all wrong. The Caribbean Court of Justice and ruling on no extradition, whether Mohammed will be extradited or not, that is not the ruling. The ruling on a specific aspect is the authority to proceed. But join me on Monday and we're going to go into it. I am going to go into it with greater detail, but just to whet your appetite, right? Just to whet your appetite. So, folks, again, thanks for your attendance. We had a wonderful turnout again this afternoon. And all I want to say to you as you go into the weekend, Make sure that you are safe. Make sure that you have an enjoyable weekend, a relaxing weekend, a safe weekend. And God's Spirit Life will come again on Monday for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.
Up comes Parslow and Mr. Clinton. Can't wait. Speaking and exposing corruption each and every day. Guyanese, turn on your TV and go to YouTube and listen to what Parslow and can't wait to say. Whole day we are calling for Parslow and Clinton Conway. They teach and educating, exposing the things in the system. We need a better Guyana for the little boys and the children poor. Slow and Clinton Conway.
All the money they invest, 2.2 billion.
Hear me when I